Today we're joined by Janine Allis, founder of the Boost Juice chain in Australia. Since the launch of her juice bars in May 2000, she's built the company into a huge award-winning success story with over $65 million per year in sales and plans to expand into the overseas market. We asked Janine how it all started.
I was 34 and had my third child, and actually decided that I didn't want to work for someone anymore, and I didn't want to go back to work after maternity leave, and I wanted to have a great creative pursuit, and I wanted everything, and the only way I could get it was to manufacture it. In other words, create my own business. So we looked at a few things, and this was a passion of mine because I've got kids and I like to be healthy, and there wasn't any healthy alternative in Australia at the time, and still isn't really, outside of Boost. And so I went to the States and had a look at the concept over there and liked elements of it, but didn't like a lot of it, and came back to Australia and basically started from scratch and created Boost.
So once you had that idea and saw the concept, how did you know what to do next?
Basically, I didn't know. I had no idea. I'd never run a business myself. I'd never done retail. I'd worked for Village Roadshow, so we did have some cinema work type thing. But really, it was just going, okay, we did a business plan, which apparently, now I look back at the business plan, it was more of a marketing plan than anything, and because it had very little figures in it, because it was sort of like, figures are a bit scary, so we'll just stick with marketing. And just basically went for it.
So did you have a mentor or somebody who helped you with some business advice or guidance?
Certainly at the start, no. And I think that probably that helped. Naivety sometimes can help. I think that I was so busy finding the right equipment and the right ingredients and negotiating all the prices that I didn't have time to actually go and ask someone whether I'm doing it right or wrong. And I think in some respects it was a good thing, because I think if I went to a crusty old retailer and said, I'm going to, in 6 years, have 170 stores in 2 countries and potentially opening another 3 or 4 countries in the next few months, he would have said, you're mad, it won't happen, and it wouldn't have happened. So I think that in that respect it was good. However, the mentor did come into my life at the right time. So it was Jeff Harris, who's the Flight Centre, co-founder of Flight Centre. He was fabulous. He came in, no egos, just came in to try and do the right thing, help us really understand how to focus on various areas that we weren't probably focusing on, and also the focus on the profit, because it's all very well doing all these things, but if you're not getting profit, there's no point, or there's no business, and so there's no business, there's no salary, so you've got to get the profit. So he really came at a critical time in our growth to really just sort of go, just come and ask the right questions, and I still see him every Tuesday.
So what would be your advice to anybody thinking of starting up a business themselves or becoming an entrepreneur?
I don't think you can become an entrepreneur. I think entrepreneur is someone that is naturally likes to take risk, who gets a buzz out of the journey. I think though that if I was giving advice, is making sure that if you avoid partnerships if you can, but if you are in partnership, be in partnership with someone who has skills that you don't have. So there's no point going into business with a person exactly like you, because you're not really maximising it. Like, I think one of the success of Boost is that even my husband had a full-time job the whole time. I used him a lot to actually balance out my weaknesses.
Did you turn to any books at all for help or guidance? Or
Look, I think you do go to books, but I think the books that I go to is probably a bit different to other books. I would go to, like, the guy who, I think One Cup at a Time, I think the Starbucks book or the McDonald's book, or I went to people who've done it before books, because you get more of a real lesson than you do if you picked up a book on business and they went, right, you need to do this, but it doesn't tell you what to do when things go wrong, or it doesn't tell you that most successful businessmen or people have actually failed somewhere along the path. So you really need those books to actually go, that's all right, I'm normal. Oh, that's all right, it didn't always go all right for them either, and they came out of it successful. So those books I thought were fantastic, and there were great lessons in those books.
I noticed Boost Juice seems to be really active in supporting community initiatives like breast cancer and giving blood, that sort of thing, and also about minimising the impact of the business on the community. Why is that so important to you?
It's just a passion of mine.
Yeah.
I think that you can have, when you grow a business, you're sort of so focused on just growing it that you didn't have time for the other stuff. But everything I've done, I've actually looked at the impact of the environment. I look at the impact on health. It's not that hard to give back to the community. It's not that hard to, like, we had Purple Bra Day where we raised something like $20,000 in Perth, and all the staff got dressed up with bras with oranges in the as boobs, and it was it was just all good fun, but it was also doing something really good too, and we all felt good about ourselves. So I think you get a little bit, I suppose it's a bit selfish, because you sort of go, you give, but you're also getting stuff back because it's that feel good of, wow, I'm actually making a difference.
So what would you say are the best bits of running your own business?
The best bits are flexibility, is that you're not really a result of other people's decisions. I think most people's frustration comes from decisions from their boss. So I think that if you are your boss, if you stuff up and you completely get it wrong, well, you've got no one else to blame but yourself, but at least you've got the freedom for that. Controlling your own destiny. I think that, I'm responsible for my own wealth and my own money and my own debts, and so I think having that, but also comes with that as risk. So, as I've got everything into Boost, if it goes wrong, basically I've lost everything as well. So there is risk and reward. So I think if you truly want this career, or not this career, this business, you have to be prepared to give up. There's challenges, there's problems, there's sleepless nights, there's fear, there's happiness, there's all those emotions thrown into it, like there is with anything. But I don't think there's a worse thing about running a business. I don't think there's such a thing as a typical day, because so many different things happen in a day. But look, I suppose it's get up about 6:30, try and do some sort of exercise in the morning, get the kids ready for school, take them to school, pop in for a juice or a coffee at whatever my local, and then really it's meetings, it's like we just had a strategy meeting on New Zealand, or it's interviewing some international prospects, or it's every day is so diverse. It is, or maybe going out to a seminar, or it's nearly an impossible one to answer because it is so different. Visiting stores, it's interstate, overseas, so depends on what day.
Sounds like you didn't love Boost, just keep going.
No, I do.